Hey everybody, welcome back to Touchy Reactions. Sabaton Army, we got another good one for you today. We're going to be checking out the song Angels Calling. This was one of the songs that was recommended by my patrons when we did a poll on what songs should be loaded for April. This was one of the ones that got some of the most votes, so definitely going to be doing it. Originally, this song made the list from my good friend Andre de Ath, who's given us lots of good suggestions over here. And Lion from the North also requested this song. We're going to be doing 4 videos today. I'm going to start with the a lyric video. Then we're going to do the official music video with Apocalypta. And then we're going to do the Sabaton history. And I'm going to wrap it up with a live performance. Now, Lion from the North requested that I do the live performance from Vienna in 2020. But there was another live there that kind of caught my eye that I would have rather done. And I'll tell you why. That live from Vienna 2020 video is one of those ones that's shot from up on stage behind the band, looking out at the audience. And those were fun for a while, but I start to get to the point where the cameraman who's doing all that shooting kind of annoys me a little bit because he's never looking where he needs to be looking during the right parts of the song. There'll be a guitar solo going on, and he'll be back looking at the drummer. Or, he's constantly got the camera pointed where I would rather be looking somewhere else on the stage. So just a little pet peeve of mine. So Lion from the North, don't get upset. We are going to watch a different live. I think the one I'm watching today, let me see. It is from the great show in Prague in 2020. So very similar time. Is what it is. I just don't like that cameraman that's on stage for Sabaton's live stuff that's up on the stage. I wish he had some better angles during the song. If he planned out each song where he's going to be, he could probably do a better job of conveying. Also, I love seeing the crowd stuff, and it's hard to see that when you're up on the stage looking out at the audience. So we're going to go with this other one. Forgive me, Lion from the North. I know you had requested specifically that other one, but anyway. I just want to take 1 second real quick before we jump into it to thank everybody who's been supporting the channel. You guys are killing it over there. The Sabaton Army. I just posted my April list, and somebody got mad. They're like, "What do you mean you got 9 Sabaton songs playing in April?" I don't understand it. Well, I explained it in that comment that Sabaton Army's been here for me since this channel was very small, and they've been supporting me the whole way, and that's why they gave me a bunch of songs to react to, and the only way I was going to ever get through the list was if I did 2 a week. So that's why they're up on Saturdays and Sundays. And I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving, all the comments, subscribers, Patreon, joining, folks on Patreon over there helping me out as well. I'm just kind of rambling here, so I apologize for that. Anyway, that's why Sabaton plays twice a week on my channel. Now, that's probably going to change here in the next month or two because I'm getting close to the end of my Sabaton list, and I kind of don't want it to end. Plus, I'm still waiting for the histories to come out for the new album that just dropped so that I can react to those new songs. I'm really looking forward to them. I got my alarm set up in the morning to go off, and it plays music, and every now and then it'll play a Sabaton song off of that new album, and I'll ask the smart device, "What is this song?" And it'll tell me, and I'm like, "Oh, I can't listen to this because I haven't reacted to it yet." The one that sounds really cool is Stormtroopers. The beginning of Stormtroopers sounds really cool. So I'm really looking forward to reacting to that. Anyway, let's not waste any more time. We got 4 videos to get to, so we'll go ahead and get started with this first one. This is the lyric video for Angels Calling. This is by Piscator. Piscator always does a great job with these lyric videos. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Angels Calling by Sabaton. Here we go. Just writing down the album. So the picture they're painting here right now, it's trench warfare, World War One. You got snipers, you got artillery, you got shrapnel in the air. They're talking about wait until nighttime to be able to go into no man's land and recover your wounded that may still be alive out there, and recover the bodies of the dead. Just a bleak, sad, dismal picture that they're painting here so far in this first verse. And oh man, I always say this, but I just can't imagine what life must have been like to be alive and in the war during this time, fighting for land that you just swap back and forth as people die, people die, people die. It's your land, it's our land, it's your land, it's our land. People are dying the whole time. It's just it seems just wasteful and ridiculous, and I can't believe we fought wars like that back then. It's just you know, time always gives you a clearer perspective on things when you look back, but what a just horrible way to conduct warfare. Just attrition upon attrition upon attrition with nothing gained is so just devastating for the amount of loss that happened anyway. I'll go back and hear that again. That was interesting, the way that the music was right there. This is as I'm listening to the music behind this, there's been a lot of Sabaton songs where I've, given them a hard time on the lyrics, but the music was really good. This one might be the other way around. I think the lyrics are okay on this one, but the music just seems very basic. Uh, and that might be a mean thing to say, but it just seems like repetitive. Maybe it's intentionally that it's repetitive, just to kind of match what the theme of the song is, repetitive war and all that kind of stuff. But as I'm listening, there's nothing really exciting going on until this sound that just happened right here. I can't tell if that's a synthesizer making that noise. It probably is, but it could also be a guitar with some sort of modifier on it. Now we got a pace change happening. That's exciting. So once again, it's another video where I pause and I make a comment about something that I'm not really enjoying in the song, and then immediately after I unpause, the song changes and everything I just said goes away. So ever since I just said that, the music has modified. It's changed a little bit. Even this guitar solo right here, which by the way, I'm going to go back and we're going to start over at the beginning of it. But you know, it's a happy accident here that maybe I just need to stop talking during these videos because stuff I noticed in the first half of the song seems like it changes by the second half of the song. Either that or I'm just crazy. All right, we're going to go back here. Really a sad song here. The message here is very depressing. The battle that you're fighting is ultimately going to end in your death, and the angels will be calling for you. You won't go home. Wow, very 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 good storytelling in that, putting you in the mindset of those soldiers that are in those trenches. That's what it's doing, and it's done very well that way. You can feel it listening to the song. You can feel what life must have been like as one of those soldiers, just thinking about, is this going to be the day I die? Oh, just sad. Okay, I think I like this song. I think I like this. Oh man, just now realized I still got this thing on my face from when I cut myself shaving this morning. Oh, well, you know, reality kicks in. Uh, yeah, I think I like this song. Not because it's a happy, you know, let's all get up and dance kind of song, but it does what a song is supposed to do. It lets the listener uh, have an experience where become they get into the mindset of the person the song's about. So I do like that. So hope I don't keep bleeding here. Oh well, you guys know what's up. You cut yourself shaving sometimes, it just won't stop. I'm just gonna keep my finger on my cheek for a minute. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the next video. This is the official music video featuring Apocalypta. I got a lot of grief from you guys on one of my other videos. Which one was it? Just dropped today. Oh, Lion from the North. I mentioned in there that there were some. I said, "Oh, these must be some hired musicians that they brought on to play these cellos and whatnot on the stage here." And you guys were like, "Hired musicians? That's Apocalypta. They're a great band over here in Europe." I'd never heard of them. I'm sorry, but here they are featured once again on another Sabaton song, "The Angels Calling" official music video. So I'll try not to disrespect Apocalypta again in this one. You gotta what do you call it? Give a little forgiveness for the American who's not as educated in European music scene. So here we go. Let's check out this music video. This is the official music video for Angels Calling featuring Apocalypta, and here we go. A little quiet in my ears. I want to turn my volume up so I can hear this real good. Oh yeah, there we go. Much better. All right, so in the lyric video, I guess I heard the album cut of this song, and that didn't have Apocalypto featured on it. And immediately, already in this version of it, I said like the music was kind of just average or standard in the lyric video. It's not like that. I can already feel a difference in the music just in the first opening here. So I'm a little excited because that was the only part that was kind of weighing on me about how to rate this song. But this version here, I bet you it's going to be better.
No man's land, snipers are moving unseen. Fight for the land to lose it again. Shrapnel is filling the air. Hell on earth, the clenches mean death. Better keep your head down low. Charge the lines, the ultimate test. It's a synchronized sacrifice.
That was nice there too. They got like a choir in there doing that sacrifice line. Very nice. Maybe that's part of Apocalypto. I'm kind of going back and forth on the video. I like the video. I like how it's shot. The cinematography on it's really nice. We keep going out to that trench outside that looks like it's lit by moonlight, and they're doing some different passes on that. I'm starting to wonder if that's actually a CGI shot that they're just sending the camera through on a CGI shot. But one would think that there'd be some shots of Sabaton near that trench, around that trench. In the past, we've seen a lot of Sabaton videos where they get dressed up and they participate in reenactment kind of the scene. The other thing that's a little weird about this video for me is that all these shots in the studio are being done in slow motion. This is kind of an upbeat song, metal, upbeat kind of thing, and everything's shot in slow motion. Not sure. Maybe the director was trying to convey the grinding slowness that the war progressed. I don't know, but it just feels like everything that we're looking at is slow and everything we're listening to is fast, and it's a little just weird in my head. But I do like the video. All the visuals look good. The only thing that's kind of throwing me off a little bit is like I say, the pacing. Everything's slow in the video and everything's fast in the music. Anyway, let's jump back into it. I like the slow motion, but they shouldn't have done the whole video in slow motion. We're talking about a rock song here. We're talking about a metal song here. We're talking about musicians that have talent playing these instruments. And if you're going to do like a guitar solo, show the guy playing it. You're going to see the drummer doing a heavy beat drum thing going on. Show him playing it. The slow motion is it just, it doesn't make it feel like a rock song. I don't know. I question that artistic choice with regards to whoever directed this video. They could have done like maybe 30% of this in slow motion, but the rest should have been at full speed, I think. Great lighting, great cinematography, and I'm really convinced now that trench scene outside is CGI. I don't think they put all that together for live video. It looks cool, but I don't know. I'm just a little disappointed because it sucks to have all the ingredients for a great music video, and then this one thing is kind of dragging it into a mediocre music video because it's just so slow. I just keep wanting to push them, say, hurry up, speed up the video. Yeah, I'm being picky. I'm being touchy at touchy reactions. All right, so I gave you my full opinion of that. Damn, it had the potential to be a great music video, and it was just an average music video, thanks to all the slow motion. All right, so let's go check out the Sabaton history. I'm really curious about this history. They always do a good job on these. This one's about 15 minutes long. We got Indy Nidell. We got Joachim from Sabaton. I don't know if Indy ever watches my reaction videos, but Indy, I need those new album histories done. Put them out on YouTube. I can't react to those new album songs until I got the histories to do. I did a poll, and all the viewers want me to wait until the histories are out. So, Indy, please get them done, get them out. I'll even just take like one a week. Drop one a week for me so I can get in there and do those reactions. Because I really want to hear those new songs off the album that just released. All right. Let's jump into this. This is Angels Calling, Trench Warfare, Sabaton History number 37. And here we go.
I'm Indy Nidell.
And I'm Joachim from Sabaton.
And this is Sabaton History. Trench warfare on the Western Front in the First World War is one of the enduring symbols of that war.
And our song, Angels Calling, is about what the soldiers on both sides went through in those trenches.
It has often been said that when generals prepare to fight a war, it's the last war, the one that came before. This certainly seemed to be true for the Great War, when in July and August 1914, the powder keg of European ambitions and arrogance exploded. The soldiers marched out in the old formations of lines and squares to meet their enemy in open fields. Officers with shining sabers and white gloves led cavalrymen clad in iron breastplates, feathered caps, and lavishly ornamented overcoats. Red trousers, spiked leather helmets, and glittering bayonets went out in hopes of glory and quick victory, because this was how you were supposed to fight a war. It all vanished in the terror of guns and cannons. Warfare had become industrialized, and its most evident symbols of destruction were the machine gun, whose firepower could replace that of a whole company, and the barbed wire, a simple agricultural tool to herd cattle, now dooming men to be trapped within a killing zone. Both are rather simple tools, made in factories far from the front lines, but now able to overpower everything that human flesh sought to achieve. Instead of the great, glorious battles, the Waterloos of the past, armies now faced an unconquerable no man's land stretching out between them. Gallant bodies of troops charging once more, and yet once more into the breach, all met their fate, hanging upright on belts of barbed wire, bullet-ridden, silently decaying there for months. Horses were as useless as men in the churned-up ground of no man's land, and the invention of the protective tank was still far in the future. To escape the inevitable death from afar, men had no choice but to dig and dig deeply, out of sight and out of reach of the mighty guns.
Sent to kill, to watch no man's land. Sniper storm for the unseen. Fight for land, to use it again. Shrapnel is filling the air.
War was not about geography anymore, not about capturing cities or economic strongpoints. No, the only way to win the deadlock was to kill as many of the enemy as possible until breakthrough could be achieved. The nature of industrialized war was that defense had the clear advantage over the offense, and entrenched position was simply more effective at killing the enemy. Hundreds of thousands of dead men littering the space between the trenches were proof of that. Consequently, the war slowed down, and soldiers went deep beneath the earth, into their trenches and dugouts. There they waited for the dark. The day was just too dangerous. Just taking a quick glance over the parapets was gambling with death. Instead, soldiers confined themselves to a life within the trenches. Daylight was a game of hiding and waiting, while firing from safety with artillery, mortars, and grenades. Movement was very limited. Men actually slept more during the day than they did at night. However, once the day ended, when the dusk came and the sun went down, the men went to work. Soldiers crept out into no man's land to dig saps, repair trenches, and lay new barbed wire. Food and water was brought forward, and medical orderlies could finally reach the contested front lines. The wounded in no man's land, moaning and screaming for help, could hopefully be relieved by their comrades. And those who had been trapped by the daylight in the shell holes of the killing zone had a chance to make it back to their own lines.
I didn't never put this together. I've never thought about it enough to think of, to come to that conclusion. But I would have thought all the fighting would be done during the day, and then at night everybody rested. But I guess it's huh. I'm learning here on Sabaton history. It all makes sense now that he lays out why they did what they did. But I just never even thought about it enough. I mean, nature would assume that you fight during the day and you rest at night, but I guess that's obviously he made it clear.
I pressed myself to ground and pulled in my head and legs as the bullet swept over me. Just as unpleasant were the glowing lumps of magnesium by the falling flares that burned down close beside me. Since the moon had disappeared behind clouds, I soon lost track of everything. I knew neither where the English nor the German side was. At times a bullet, fired by one side or the other, was sweeping across the ground, dangerously close. I was prepared to meet any English hail with a hand grenade, but to my relief, it were my own men coming to retrieve my assumed to be dead body.
Wow.
As the lost and wounded were brought in, others went out into the dark to fight. Snipers crawled on their bellies into no man's land, looking for a lair from which they could deal death into the enemy's hideout the next day. Combat patrols went out to get close to the enemy, to find and engage their sappers, or to simply patrol the dead zone against enemy raiders.
I'm imagining a scenario where there's a rival snipers out there in no man's land crawling around trying to find, whatever they're looking for, and they just like come face to face right in the middle of the night, and confrontation arises.
Raiding parties with blackened faces, clubs and pistols were sent out into the night to prey on tired sentries, to steal information, or to destroy what they could destroy in a deadly game of cat and mouse, of hunter and prey. In fear of those men, sentries had to stay awake. That is easier said than done. Notoriously deprived of sleep, the men waited for hours, staring into the dark, anxiously listening for footsteps, whispers, or anything that rattled against the wire. Armed with magnesium flares, they remained ready to alarm their comrades, and any such alarm was immediately met with illuminating flares and machine gun fire, tearing
Wow.
the unlucky raiders apart. At dusk, we got to
That's an amazing photo. Wow. Very cool. I can only imagine.
machine gun fire, tearing the unlucky raiders apart. At dusk, we got to work. I marked out the gun pits by torchlight and the cold glare of occasional star shells, and soon all were digging. It was an eerie and unpleasant night. It rained at times. Odd shells fell, always seeming nearer in the darkness. About midnight, a hell of a row broke out in front with heavy machine gun fire. Very lights went up, and a stream of our SOS shells flew close over our heads. The men seemed more frightened than I was, being all on their own in the dark, wondering if the Boche might be coming at them over the ridge. The night was also a chance to prepare for coming offensives. The phrase "at first light" is often attributed to such offensives, but most of them started way before first light, since the dark is the attacker's most precious ally. Whole regiments were changed at night, which took hours, if not all night, since traversing the trenches was wandering a maze in the dark, because even the slightest shadow or the smallest light source would attract the attention of the enemy gunners. Artillery was still very active during the night, harassing the enemy, depriving them of sleep. Just look at our artillery. Just look at it, at those countless flashes. See how they stab at the darkness from their hiding places, not in dozens, but in hundreds. And yet, these are only the heavies. The lighter guns are well up, and we cannot see them. The whole place seems ablaze as far as the eye can see, flash after flash, some singly, some in groups. But isn't it all beyond description, beyond belief, beyond even imagination?
Losing friends to artillery shells at the break of dawn. Break their will as yours has been broken. They're here alone. Dream on.
Even those men lucky enough to have a cozy spot that was not just a muddy shell hole, a hole in the wall of a trench, or a dangerously shaky dugout that threatened to swallow a man whole with the next impact. Even they could not find sleep easily. Fear and memories were maddening, and only the hope of returning home one day was what kept many of the men sane.
Is this guy in a tree? Huh. He might have found himself a little dugout under a tree. That's kind of cool. Golly, man. Oh. Just the bleakness, the despair is just up to your ears every day. I just can't believe it.
Enough to carry on. Photographs and letters from family and loved ones, these were cherished treasures, which sometimes decorated the tiny space of the dugouts where the men got their 2, maybe 3 hours of sleep until woken again for guard duty. Others lost themselves in silent prayers or memorized holy verses. Sleep was a luxury for most of the common soldiers, and it was everything, anonymous. Who remembers the single soldier lying in a water-filled shell hole throughout the night, shivering from the freezing temperature, only to fight the coming day? It was a quick, easy death. I dragged my fallen comrade to a shell hole, covered him with my ground sheet. There was a battle raging far off to the right. It was now broad daylight. I now had to hang on for another 18 hours, soaked to the skin. My boots were full of water, my coat leaked, and everything was dripping. I was shivering and freezing from cold, and I could not gather my thoughts together coherently. The day dragged by. After an eternity, evening drew near, and with it, relief. We now had to carry our fallen comrade back to the rear with us. There could be no question of sleep that night. At long last, dawn approached, and we dragged our weary, frozen limbs into our accommodation. I lay down on a hard bed and fell asleep. I slept, and then I dreamt, not of the war, but of love at home and the love of a young woman.
I bet the temptation to just leave in the middle of the night must have grown as, you know, the mental state of a lot of these soldiers must have been such that they're not getting a lot of sleep. They're in the middle of the chaotic war. They, I bet you there were many of them who thought, when it gets dark, I'm gonna do what I can to head toward the safe zone behind us and just go as far as I can from here so I can find a place to sleep. And, you're battling with I don't want to abandon my friends and my company and my country. And at the same time, my body is so tired. My brain is so stressed, all those kind of things. If I could just get away for a few days and rest, those kind of things. I wonder how much of that was going on. They don't talk about that much, but I bet you it was a lot. I bet you there were a lot of people who snuck out of there and just tried to get away from it for a day or two, if anything. I don't know. That's just what crossed my mind.
But even if they got used to the harsh conditions, to the shelling, maybe even to the rats or to the omnipresent plague of lice, there was still one enemy from which they could not take shelter: gas. In the front trenches, it was mandatory to keep a gas mask at the ready, because once under fire, there were but seconds that lay between life and an agonizing death. And at night, in total darkness, it was easy to panic and lose everything. And panic was always close by, because they knew that unseen snipers were moving around, searching for a spot from which they could kill them the next day. They knew that men with clubs and knives were wandering around in the dark, waiting for the chance to spill blood. They knew that comrades, maybe dear friends, were lying out there, outside their reach, too weak to cry for help, slowly bleeding out. And they knew that a new day would eventually come. And with the sunlight, that new day of fighting, killing, and dying was upon them. They would find their enemies, and their enemies would find them, with bullets bearing their names. Okay, well, trench warfare, why did that appeal to you enough to write a song about?
Not too much appealing. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Poor choice of words, but yes, I agree. It's a bit of a weird story, this one, because it's not really about a single battle.
Right.
It's more about, as you said, soldiers on both sides being in the trenches.
The horror of the trenches. Yeah.
And it's kind of weird because it's kind of one of my favorite songs. So I have so many positive memories about it. And I want to bring it back on tour again. So you guys hammer the channel so Pat and everybody in the band sees how much you love Angels Calling, so I get to play it live again.
Now, how did it feel for you when we were filming at Verdun a couple months ago? How was it for you to actually see the trenches and be down in where the trenches were? You could still see them in the countryside.
Yeah, it's so eerie. It's a weird feeling, because at the same time I'm happy to be there to see it. But it's not a happy place at all. There is something about the World War I battlefields that gets me. I don't know what it is. I can't really explain it. Sorry, but it's fucked up. Sorry for the language.
No, but it is really somber. I mean, just seeing the craziness of the way the ground is just blasted apart. Now that's interesting to write a song not about a person or about a battle, as most of your songs are about things like that, or a war, but about almost a symbol of a war, a thing that somebody had to go through.
Yeah.
And it's not just the British or the Americans or the French or the Germans. It's everybody on the Western Front. Also on the Italian front, there were plenty of trenches and stuff too. But that's what we think. When we think of trenches, we think of the Western Front. We think of mustard gas.
Yep.
We think of trench foot. We think of,
disease, artillery, hell on earth. Yeah. People drowning.
That's what I was thinking,
That's the phrase that kept coming to my mind, was hell on earth. Just complete hell on earth.
You walking across the duckboards carrying 25 kilos of weight. You slip, you fall into the mud, you are dead before anyone can get you back. And a letter goes to your family that says you fell. It doesn't say you drowned, but it says you fell, which means you died either in battle or whatever. And that's, I mean, if I was that guy in my last 10 seconds in the mud, I'd be thinking, this is so unfair. What am I dying for?
This is not how I wanted to do it.
What am I dying for? Why am I here? What am I dying for? Okay, sports fans, that's it for today, but we'll see you next time on Sabaton History.
Hello? Yes, Pat, I know. Yeah, I know. I'm doing it already. Stop bothering me. So yeah, Obersturmbannführer Sundström, he has called me, wants me to remind you that the albums are coming out as history editions. All of them. Well, the ones about history anyway. So, become a Patreon and you can get one.
Yes, definitely support Sabaton on Patreon. It helps them put these histories together, helps them spread the word, spread their music, and as I always say, if you got to choose between supporting my channel and supporting Sabaton, give that money to Sabaton. Help those guys out so they can keep putting out this great content. All right, we got one more video to watch. That's going to be the live performance, and this is coming from the great show in Prague in 2020. Let's go ahead and check this out and wrap up this reaction. Here we go. I'm appreciating the set design here, especially on the back here where it says the Great War, and they've made it like out of 2x4s all nailed together. That looks very cool. And they always do a great job of designing their stages so they look like the trenches. They look like war scenes. Sabaton has a lot of theatrics when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I really appreciate that. I do like this video so far.
Fight for land to lose
Two very clean guitar solos there by Tommy and Chris. Very nice. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I'm still trying to figure out. This looks like maybe a kind of a compilation video, but it might not be. It says live from the Great Show in Prague, so it just must be multiple cameras around the stage filming this. And I'm trying to figure out if they're using some recorded audio plugged in here along with some live audio. Either way, though, I'm really liking the video. It's more of an official live here, and a lot of this is live. There might be a little bit of studio dubbed in with it to clean up some of the stuff, but it looks really, really good with regards to the video. I'm liking it a lot. Wow. All right. Man, I love finishing these reactions with lives. The lives always are so good. Yeah. All right, that's it for this reaction. I enjoyed this song. Even though it's got a really kind of a bleak, sad message to it, it's a well-written song. The music is good in it. The only slight complaint I had was the first 2 minutes of the lyric video that I watched at the beginning. It just felt like the music was kind of dry, kind of just not built up. But as we kept going through the video and seeing different versions of it, it just got better and better and better. So that's why you got to listen to a song more than once before you make a real judgment on it. So I like this song. Really, really, really liked it. If you guys enjoyed this reaction, hit that like button down below. It doesn't hurt you at all, and it helps me out a lot. It helps the channel grow. Helps get Sabaton's music out there to more people on YouTube. So hit that like button, and if you're not already a subscriber to the channel, hit that big red button below and subscribe. Come on over and join us on this ride. I react to lots of music from all over the world. I don't just do Sabaton and music from Europe. I do stuff from everywhere. I encourage people constantly to send me bands or groups or artists that are from around the world that maybe people haven't been exposed to, so that I can, get a look at them, get some viewing of something different that I've never seen before. And I'm surprised all the time by things from countries or artists that probably never would have stumbled across if I hadn't had a comment down below from one of you guys telling me, hey, go check this group out. This is what they're all about. So thank you to everybody that's been recommending all these great groups and great artists and great music. I thank you very much. Patrons, I appreciate all my patrons supporting the channel. It helps me buy new stuff for the videos, make them look better, sound better, that kind of stuff. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, there's a link up here in the corner. It takes you over to the Patreon. For $1 a month, you can get early access to all my videos. As soon as I'm done editing them, they go straight on Patreon, and then they wait their turn to come out on YouTube. So Appreciate all my patrons. Come on over, join the Patreon family. I also have exclusive Patreon content that I post just for those folks over there. A lot of behind the scenes stuff, special videos just for them, that kind of stuff. So join the Patreon, become a member. That is all I got for this reaction for Angels Calling. I really like this song and appreciate everybody who requested it. And that's all I got. So hey, appreciate you stopping by, and don't forget to come on back.